Good evening, everyone. So, welcome to another installment of what's it called again? Mewcast. Okay. Welcome to another installment of our podcast series. Today, we have a special guest today, Jorgy, who is the founder of JW Networks. I don't know why I'm doing. I never taken multiple takes. This is the first time I'm taking multiple. Today, in our podcast, we are going to talk about some very interesting areas. That is motorsports, how that combines with STEM education.
I love motorsports and I love watching Formula One. If I knew karting was the first step to getting into motorsports and becoming a racer, then I would have become myself a racer now. That's why I wanted to change it.
What would you say is your dream car then?
Those days I used to look at all these muscle cars. So
Yes.
I loved the Mustang, 1969 Ford Mustang, the Shelby Code running really right. Good?
Can I get some water? Can he get some more? Yeah, Nikang is fine. Yeah.
There's no other career except for you being an engineer or a doctor or a lawyer.
Yeah.
I don't think other careers exist while you're at schooling in Sri Lanka, right?
Yeah. If you were in charge, would you maybe introduce something like racing for kids?
I would definitely do it, and that's what we are doing also. I'll talk about GridX, the project that I'm doing on the 4th of October. That is going to be the first STEM challenge combining motorsports in Sri Lanka. It's open for the kids between 16 to 28. They have to have 3 to 6 members in their teams, and they have to create a small like this, not the size of Formula One style car. I think the editor is going to be having a hard time because I said somewhere that he has to do it.
I suck at this.
Okay. Awesome. So basically we both suck at this, so he has to suck it off.
Hi guys, so welcome to another installment of our podcast series, Talk with T. Today we have a special guest today, Jorgy, who is the founder of JW Networks. And today in our podcast, we are going to talk about some very interesting areas. That is motorsports, how that combines with STEM education and the sports industry in general. So before we start, Jorgy, you want to give a quick intro to yourself?
So I'm the founder of JW Networks, which is a sports and entertainment media company. We do a lot of events, projects to make motorsport accessible in Sri Lanka and also around the globe.
Awesome. So let's start with a very, very serious question.
Yes.
So if we were to design a ice cream based off of you, your personality, who you are, what would that ice cream have?
Oh, bloody hell. So this is quite a twist. I wonder how it's going to taste because I love cotton candy. Okay. At the same time, I love these salted caramel that comes with macadamia nuts and all that.
Okay.
I don't think that's a good idea to combine both.
Cotton. I can see how cotton candy
can go with macadamia nuts, but I don't think it can go with salted caramel though.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's a chaotic sandwich. I'll call it a chaotic ice cream sandwich.
Yeah. So
you might like it, you might hate it. I'm already hating it.
You know what we should start doing? We should have like these branding deals. You know, Elephant House is launching all these different ice cream flavors. Like recently, you had. I think it was not the King Coconut one, but we had the normal coconut ice cream flavor.
Okay.
Maybe they should throw some inspiration.
Was it good?
I haven't had it.
Oh.
But maybe they should draw inspiration from you and launch.
Yes, please contact me. I'll give you guys guidance on this.
Exactly. So Jorgy, I mean, in terms of your career, you know, where you are now, I think it has been a pretty long and interesting journey, right?
Yeah.
You were working with big TV broadcasters. Then you went to founding your own media network. Then going into the fitness industry.
Yeah.
Then finally now in the motorsports industry as well. So it's a lot of transitions. Do you see any connecting thread? How did this interesting journey start?
So just like for everybody else, I also had my figuring out phase.
Yeah.
So I actually started my working career in the media industry. And then I thought, no, it's not for me, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. And then I went for other industries and I was like, you know what, you might have to tweak this. Like, I was like saying, okay, this. I'm good at what I used to do, which is media. So I wanted to do something in that.
Yeah.
And I went for my further studies in Singapore. I studied mass communication and the media sector there.
Interesting.
It was very revealing because at that time we didn't have any such thing here when it comes to education, and the facilities that they provided there were very, very wide. And they had subjects called broadcast management. And in here at that time, I don't think anyone even heard about it. We had managers at the broadcasting stations, but it was not a subject, right?
They were trained for it.
Yeah, they just came with the experience and they did it, and there were no educational method for it.
Yeah.
But abroad, it was happening. So then I worked and I found this fitness journey because I wanted to get into fitness because I used to do a lot of sports while I was schooling, and then I stopped it. And then I became a very fat person. Well, I can't call myself that fat, but yes, I was heavy. I was heavy. But I wanted to get back into my proper size. So I started going to the gym and working out. And
was it in Singapore?
No. Here in Sri Lanka.
Okay.
Trust me, when I was in Singapore, I was a freaking foodie. I kept on eating. That's how I ended up being fat.
Yeah, I think like Singapore, one of the things I really like about it is their food culture. Like so many different varieties and so much food. Like every time I go there, I just eat, and there's always something different every time.
Yeah.
Which is like mix. I don't know why we always keep coming back to food, but yeah. Singapore is like
food combines people, I think.
Yeah, true.
That is like the main source of anything.
Yeah.
So I got into this fitness journey. I lost weight, and then I was really good at lifting heavy. So I did a women's physique competition here because I wanted to try out. Was super curious, so I wanted to try it out, and then I got revealed into that industry and how that works and all that. And then I wanted to, continue the media one, but my family, they're having a petrol head background. So everyone's a petrol head in my family except for my mom. She's the only normal person, I guess. So that was anyway in my whole life. So I wanted to do something because I love motorsports and I love watching Formula One. And I think during COVID, I started my podcast, where I started interviewing people in the Formula industry. The engineers, racers in IndyCar, NASCAR, Formula One, and all that. And then I realized there's something missing here. Because when we talk to people there, they already know what is existing for them. They know the existence of the industry. They know the existence of the opportunities that they have. They already have pathways and guideways. So that's infrastructure is not here. So I want to do something here so that we can build up our own infrastructure when it comes to motorsports and sports generally, and promote our talent also in the global industry, because it's Sri Lanka. Our people have the most creativity and they have a lot of good talent. It's just that we don't have the proper guidance, the pathways, and the opportunity. So that's how I actually created JW Networks. And
Interesting. So, sort of going back in time a little bit, like going back to little Jorgina, like who was maybe going into the media industry. Like, if you could speak to her now, like, what would you tell her? Like because there's a lot of people very young who's trying to figure out what their passion is, what they want to do. Like anything you would tell her or someone around that age.
Just go for it. Don't even think for a second that you can't. There's always going to be more barriers than you ever think. But just keep on going, because you're definitely reaching it. There's nothing in my life that I would actually like to change, to be honest, because everything that has taken place in my life made me who I am. If I'm going to change something in the past, then I won't be the person who is existing at the moment. And it's always about the right time, but that right time comes to you when you're ready. So it's about you figuring out exactly what you want to do and how you're going to go. So those days I didn't actually understand this whole thing about you caring for yourself, you understanding yourself and self-love and self-care and all that. But it took me all these years to understand that. So it depends on people, depending on the experience that you have, the personality, the characters, and the life experiences that you will face. It depends on when you're going to figure it out. But whatever the age, regardless whatever it is, if you want to do something, just go for it. Don't get scared of it. Just grab that opportunity.
Yeah.
If there aren't any opportunities, create something for yourself.
Yeah. Interesting. That's probably why you wanted to start JW Networks. Like, what was it like? You wanted to do something around sports and media, but what made you want to do it by yourself? Like, that must have been like a very intimidating decision. Like, talk me through like your mind, like what you were thinking.
So let me tell you a story, right? So I think it's very typical when it comes to Sri Lankan families and Sri Lankan society. Like when you're trying to do it, something and all that, you get, when you're a child itself, you are getting raised to do a job.
Yes.
And to earn. There's no other career except for you being an engineer or doctor or a lawyer. I don't think other careers exist while you're at your schooling in Sri Lanka, right? But for me, when I was growing up, I didn't know actually what my whole goal is, because I never wanted to be a doctor. I never wanted to be an engineer, and I didn't want even to be a lawyer at all. Like, they have a lot of papers to go through, and I'm not a person who goes through the papers. So that's why I'm sticking with media, with the cameras, right? The thing is, like, going back to the question, just like I told you, I won't change anything, but at the same time, it's about what you can do and what you can't do when it comes to the kids also. And that's what I wanted to change also while starting JW Networks. Because if I knew karting was the first step to getting into motorsports and becoming a racer, then I would have become myself a racer now. So that's why I wanted to change it, so that there won't be any what ifs for the next generation.
That is true. That is true. I think that's a common theme that I see in what we do at MuLabs as well, because we also want to expose kids to new experiences, get them to try new things at a very young age, so that they have that moment, as you said, you are ready, and that moment comes and you just go for it. Those moments come to them and they're able to sort of go for it. But it's not easy actually. Like going back to the question that you asked, it's not ever easy to come out of that mindset where you are trained to be doing some sort of a job to get your monthly salary, do your job, get married, make kids. That's the whole social spectrum that you're built into. And you going out of that means there's no one holding you, but mentally there are so many things holding you. And to take that step is the hardest. Did it help you to break away from that, to live abroad for a while and come back to Sri Lanka? Did that help you? I definitely think so. Because while I was anyway living abroad, that culture is totally different. It's a very open culture. You can do whatever you want, and there's no limitation when it comes to when you're starting and what you're doing and all that. And if you hate doing your job at the moment, then you can go and restart something else. There are so many opportunities where you can start from where you ended as well. So I got so used to that culture, right? But at the same time, at home, me and my brother, we are both very independent because we were raised in that way. And my mom, she used to always tell us, do something that you actually like. Go for it, do something that you like, learn from your experiences and learn from your mistakes so that you can grow. And one time she was telling me, even if I'm going to tell you not to do it, you won't stop at that. And you will start hating me because you will never understand what I'm trying to say. Once you experience it, you will understand exactly why I told you why not to do it, and you'll learn. Interesting. So come back to family. What is a petrolhead? Okay, so petrolheads are those people who are really into automotive. The cars and all that, like major fans, enthusiasms when it comes to automotive cars and stuff. So they are called petrolheads. Interesting.
So my dad, my brother, my dad's side of the family, they're all petrol heads and they work in that industry. They get along with those things. And I think I've seen so many vehicles at my house rather than seeing any garden flowers. So, yeah.
So, what is your dream car? What would you say is your dream car then?
For me, so those days I used to look at all these muscle cars. So
Yes.
I love the Mustang.
Yeah.
I love
Dodge Chargers.
yes, the Dodge Chargers and all that. 1969 Ford Mustang, the Shelby Cobra would be my best.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. I really had a thing for the Dodge Hellcat, right? Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I really had a thing for that because I was in the US and I used to see that a lot.
Yeah.
That looked so good, but I don't think you can drive it in Sri Lanka. There might be some in Sri Lanka, no?
I mean, there are. It depends because anyway, you have to get those cars since it's American cars. It's left-hand driving, so you have to convert it into right-hand driving, which is what Auto Group is doing. They have a company here called Auto Group. They usually take cars and convert into their side. So that's a totally different company also with the work areas and all that. And I did a couple of videos with them also, and I learned a lot from them as well. So you need to change that and then you can actually drive around here.
Okay.
But I think there's some sort of a rule when it comes to the capacity or something, because I have no idea. When it comes to the lower side, I don't know because I hate low. Because of that.
So Binu is a lawyer, trained to be a lawyer.
That's why we have lawyers, because we don't like law things. So we have lawyers to go through those documents.
Yep. So
save our asses.
yeah. Like I also saw John Wick. He has what's the car he has? That's a very interesting.
Yeah, I haven't watched John Wick. Oh my God.
That's like one of my most favorite films. Like I think it was what was it called? Yeah, Ford Mustang, 1969 Ford Mustang.
Oh, he has taste.
Yeah,
You should watch that movie.
Yeah, you should. It's like one. It has one of my most favorite things. That's dogs. That film. That's one of the reasons why I liked it. But yeah, so petrol heads. That's very interesting. Okay, so tell me a little bit about Jorgy's podcast. Like, what was that? How did that start?
So it's called Jorgy's Stripping the Dipping.
Okay.
Like I told you, it started during the COVID period. There was nothing to do. No motorsports also.
Okay.
So on Twitter, we were just arguing about these 2021 whole saga that took place in Formula One.
Okay.
With the whole human error championship that they had and all that.
Can you explain that to someone who knows nothing about it? Like
you.
Yes. Yes.
So in 2021, the last race at Abu Dhabi, so the leading drivers, Lewis Hamilton versus Max Verstappen, they both had the same points. And there's a whole set of regulations when you do racing.
Okay.
And there's regulations when it comes to using the safety car also, maybe during an accident or maybe during the bad weather and all that.
Yeah.
And there was a whole hiccup going on, and then so using the race director Michael Messi, he made a call which was illegal. There was a huge issue going on.
Okay.
So it was like a daylight robbery happening in front of millions watching the race live.
Wow.
So it's called the Human Error Championship because then later on FIA actually admitted saying that it's a human error, but they didn't revise the championship. They
so
just
who
gave
won at the end?
Max Verstappen.
Okay.
But they just gave it away for that person. So because of that. But it was not the first time that something like that has taken place in Formula One. It used to take a similar scenario, more or less, took place in 2008 when it comes to Fernando Alonso's championship as well. right?
Oh, okay.
So they never go back with the whole FIA decisions, but this was called a human error, and fans were actually eating their heads each other, fighting, because Max Verstappen's fans were like, no, it's okay, it's a illegal thing and all that. And then Lewis fans were like, no, that's an illegal thing, Mickey Mouse championships, trophies, blah, 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 blah.
Interesting.
So basically Twitter was very fun those days, watching everything going on and all that.
So whose side did you take?
Oh, Lewis Hamilton, definitely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Listen, I am a Lewis Hamilton fan when it comes to drivers, because he's one of the greatest of all time for Formula One. And he's a good human being when it comes to promoting minority, ethnicity, diversity, and all that as well. So because of that, I respect the person apart from the talent. So that's why he's one of the favorite drivers among the rest of the favorite drivers I have. So he's one of those people. And then I like Nigel Mansell, and then Sir Stirling Moss as well.
Okay.
So because of that, I was, taking Hamilton's side, and then I was actually watching the whole thing. And then I was like, okay, why don't we start talking about these things and learn? Because at that time, no one knew about these legalities.
True.
Right? This is where your wife is coming in. Right?
Maybe if they had better lawyers,
Yes.
it would be a problem.
Yeah. So you need to learn what it is, first of all, the rules and regulations and how that works, so that you can argue about it.
True.
It's pointless for us to actually argue about things when we also don't know anything and they also don't know anything. It's just waste of time, right?
Okay.
So I want to learn more. So that's how this whole thing started. And then I realized people don't realize that there's more to motorsports than just a driver circling around in a car. There are so many varieties of careers in the industry.
Yeah.
So that's why it's called stripping the dipping. It's like we are stripping out layers so that you can see the core inside a industry.
What does dipping mean? The racing context?
So the rating, there's no racing context in the world itself. So it's like you're taking a dip and you're stripping one by one the layers. So you dive in and you get to see everything.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there are motorsport lawyers, there are marketeers, content creators, business partners, brands. There's a lot. Even doctors, fitness careers within the industry. So it's an industry where so many fields are getting together, and we fail to see that.
Yeah.
So that's what made me curious, because I realized, okay, some of the things that we know, people don't know. And when things like Drive to Survive was one of the series that Netflix did for making Formula One famous.
Yeah.
So when you watch those types of series and get into the industry, you're coming with a movie structure, not the sports structure. So you lack information. So it's very easy for you to misunderstand and get misconceptions also. So why not we talk about these things, and why not we talk about all the other careers? So this is actually, I think, the only, if not the first ever podcast in the world where we talk to every single person who's working in the industry, from a graphic designer to a marketeer to a brand's personality to lawyers to doctors and everyone.
That's very interesting, because it also follows along the themes of STEM education.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we're jumping a little ahead, but people often say STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, but really what it stands for is these 4 subjects or different subjects coming together to solve a problem.
Yeah.
Right. So I think Formula One, or the way you describe it is, or any industry for that matter, is like that. You have so many different professions, so many people coming together, working on a single problem, right? Or single industry.
Yeah.
So as you see, you have engineers, doctors, lawyers, graphic designers, mechanics, actors, and the actual racers themselves. All of this will coming together and working together. And I think that sort of embodies the ethos of STEM education as well. And that really is very interesting. I think that's probably where I think the biggest connection for STEM education comes from as well, right? From Formula One. So, I mean, if you want to talk a little bit about sort of the Formula One industry or the motorsports industry, again, if someone doesn't know what this is, Like, how would you describe it? Like,
Okay, so if we take motorsports,
yeah,
let me take ice cream as an example.
Sure.
Motorsports basically is like all the flavors, the basic flavors.
yeah,
Vanilla, you have chocolate, you have strawberry.
okay,
Formula One is like the premium version of it, where you can have putalam salted caramel ice cream sort of
okay,
thing. So
okay.
that's the whole idea of motorsports. Like, so basically you start from karting.
okay,
And when you develop karting, that is like the kindergarten for you, right?
okay,
And then you go through karting, and then you are going to have the last version of karting, which is going to be basically O levels, if we say, ordinary level, right? And when we do ordinary level, and then when we are supposed to choose whether we are going to do maths or science like that.
Oh.
So after doing karting, you're supposed to choose whether you're going for formula races or normal endurance road car races.
Okay.
So it divides into two sections, right? So if you're going to go into the formula section, then you have Euro Formula Championships to do. Then you have Formula 1, Formula 3. So you have Formula 4, then you have to have Formula 3, then Formula 2, and then comes Formula 1.
So the smaller the number, the faster the car.
Yes,
Is that
yes.
basically
Yes,
a dumb way to describe it?
it is a dumb way to
Okay.
describe. That is the best way to describe it.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically Formula 1 is like the pinnacle of motorsports.
Okay.
And then the road car races are endurance car races. So they
So
have
all these rally races.
yeah, rally and everything goes into the other side of it, not the formula
Interesting.
side of it.
Okay.
So we have that. And when it comes to Formula One, the trick is you might be doing well at F3, which is Formula 3, but that doesn't guarantee you to have a seat at Formula One, right?
Okay.
So for an example, we have a thing called paid drivers.
Yeah.
You sometimes pay a team in Formula One to have one of the driver seats.
Okay.
So you can be a driver there. As long as you open your pocket to them, they'll give you the
Okay.
seat, right?
Interesting.
And if they can cover up their costs from another area, then you're going to get automatically kicked out,
Interesting.
right?
Okay.
If you are a very talented person like Oscar Piastri or Lewis Hamilton, then you're automatically getting picked up by teams to do the races, just like what happened to Ollie Behrman. So Ollie Behrman is a British driver who came from Ferrari Academy. So all these teams also have their own academies where they have racers who are training there.
Okay.
And due to an issue, due to the driver who was supposed to drive, due to unavoidable circumstances, he had to do the one race last year as his debut for Formula One. He performed really well.
Okay.
So because of that, the other teams recognized that talent, and he got picked up by Haas
Oh.
to have a seat there to do Formula One this year as their driver. But since he's coming from a Ferrari academy, what Ferrari does is they lend the person. From the academy, they are lending you their driver.
So they have to
you
pay
can have
the
it.
academy.
Yeah, basically, let's not say that. Yeah. So they are lending you the driver. You can have them, but whenever they want, they can actually take back the driver.
All right.
Right? So it's like engine manufacturers as well. So Red Bull team is using a Honda engine. McLaren team is using a Mercedes engine.
Okay.
So there are things like that. It's a very interesting industry, to be honest.
So then if someone's in Sri Lanka who's like, okay, I really want to get into this industry, how would they do that?
It depends on which way that you want to get into the industry. Because if you're a racer, we explain everything that how you're supposed to go and all that.
With karting.
You start with karting and you start winning karting championships, which are going to be FIA sanctioned races.
Are there
in Sri Lanka, there's no FIA sanctioned races ever has taken place in Sri Lanka. Unfortunately, until now. So there's no FIA sanctioned races here. Even though we do have an FIA approved karting track, that is the only international karting track that we have at Bandaragama. That is the only one. But in other countries, there are multiple karting tracks just like that. So they have more opportunities. The more the competition is, the more opportunities that you get because of that. So usually what happens is every country has an ASN. So FIA has two entities. One is ACN and the other one is ASN. FIA is the governing body globally for motorsports. The ASEAN part is actually those people are they are the people who are responsible for the automobile side of the country. Road safety and everything comes under there. ASN part for a country under FIA, they are the people who are handling motorsports. So your ASN, they are the president from the ASN, whoever is having the affiliation. So usually from FIA, the affiliation needs to be with the federation.
Okay.
In the country. So in Sri Lanka, the federation is SLAS, Sri Lanka Auto Sports.
Okay.
But we do not have the affiliation. It's a club that is having an affiliation. So when it comes to Sri Lanka, it's all messy and chaotic. But in other countries, the federation has the affiliation. So the ASN president is appointed through that. And the ASN president is responsible to give these races the international racing drivers.
Yeah.
So when they are driving abroad, the international racing drivers license. And then he is the one who's responsible in developing motorsports within the country and combining, being the bridge between global and Sri Lanka and bridging those two and doing the work and all that as well. Right? So looking at how developed our industry here is, we can see how they have done the work. So there's that, unfortunately. But I mean, I've seen so many people who are doing their own ASN work, even in Czech Republic and even India and all that. They're doing a lot of work, and they have so many people who are actually racing in international races and everything, and they're doing more within the country also. And it's a very it's a wide industry. At the same time, wide means you have a lot of opportunities.
Yeah.
It's a matter of how you're going to connect it, right? So it depends. Just like I told you earlier, if you don't get the opportunity, you create one.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing here.
Understood. So talking a little bit about sort of policy as well. So what do you think is holding back Formula One racing in Sri Lanka? Is it the lack of sanctioned races in Sri Lanka? Like, is there anything else that you think
basically the infrastructure itself? There's no proper infrastructure for motorsports here.
So if someone wants to have a sanctioned race in Sri Lanka, there's no place for them to have it as well.
I mean, for karting, we can have one here because since we do have a internationally FIA sanctioned, FIA graded international karting track.
Oh, where is that?
It's at Bandaragama.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The one next to Pearl Bay.
Yes.
Okay.
Right? That is the only one here. But when it comes to Formula One, there's no Formula One grade 1, FIA grade 1 standard track here.
Yeah.
But we can definitely have a street race because there are types of street racing happening around the globe also for Formula One. Just like Singapore GP is a street race. And then they have proposed Thailand to have Formula One street race also. They are bidding on that. And then Jeddah is a street race as well. In Saudi Arabia. So that's an opportunity for us to have it. And we can have rally races here. I think, in my opinion, that is like the perfect thing here in Sri Lanka to have rally racing.
With the nature.
Yes, with the nature and all that can develop tourism and hospitality here as well in a major way. Rather than, me saying, no, we need to have Formula One here. I mean, I would love to. Then it can save a lot of dollars for us actually to watch the race as well. True. But when it comes to the business structure, there has to be a proper ROI for the people who are actually putting in.
Okay, understood. So if you are someone who's young, who's interested in becoming a racer, maybe you can start with karting here and then work with international organizations to sort of move your way up the ladder. Okay, got it. And sort of from what I've seen, McLaren's is sort of leading in terms of sort of innovation and also performance sort of areas. What do you think? From an engineering perspective or from a organizational perspective, what do you think is driving their success? What do you think has allowed them to be so on top of the industry at the moment?
Yeah, Rob Marshall happened for them.
Okay, can you explain what that is?
Yeah, so there's a guy called Rob Marshall. He's one of the best engineers in the world. Okay. He used to be in Red Bull earlier, and they won a lot of races with Rob Marshall and Adrian Newey. Okay. They were in Red Bull. And then in the mid-season last year, he joined McLaren, and then they started improving their cars and everything. So in my perspective, Rob Marshall happened to them.
Yeah.
So their car is really fast,
Yeah.
and they have a really good teamwork happening when it comes to the work criteria as well. Even though sometimes they have issues, choosing whom to make the number one driver. Because in Formula One, when you're having two drivers in the team, there's always a number one driver clause happening within the legal documents.
Okay.
Yeah. I think even though I don't like legal, I know a lot of legal stuff.
Not about that.
Yeah.
True. So, and back, I guess, earlier Lewis Hamilton was sort of dominating. Who do you think is sort of?
So
now?
Lewis Hamilton also had a good team behind him, because it's not just about a driver and it's not just about a car also.
Yeah.
It's about the driver, it's about the car, and it's also about the strategy that your team is coming up with. So it's a triangle, not just about one person.
Yeah.
But when one triangle within the triangle, if one thing is failing, like maybe a strategy just misfired, and then like Lewis Hamilton, he has driven with just 3 tires. He has driven with a broken wing and won races. So when that happens, it definitely comes down to the driver's talent, right? But for Lewis Hamilton, he dominated because he had a good team behind him, and he was in his prime era also. But now what has taken place is, so one thing is 2021, that's a definite PTSD for him. That's a trauma that you have to come out of it, and it takes a long time when you're getting mentally blocked also, when you're actually getting robbed and you have no idea what to do and how to do, and no one is there actually to go and say that this is wrong, because there's no court. I mean, if you are going to complain to FIA saying that I'm going to go to court, that court is also made from FIA.
True.
So you can't go and tell FIA, I'm going to sue you, because you are going to be the judge on that suing case also, right? So that is one thing, right? And then he actually came out from Mercedes, and then he's running with Ferrari now. So this year, when you've been working for decades with one type of a car, with one type of a team, the culture, the work areas and everything, and suddenly you switched, it's going to take a little bit time for you to adjust. So Ferrari is a different culture, a different set of cars, and then the setups are different. The way you work with them is basically different. And then regardless the culture, the politics are also going to be different in how you're going to handle, because Ferrari is very famous to have their own types of very old politics going around.
Interesting.
Right? So it's a struggle. So the guy is having, because in Formula One, now, even though you are doing the 2025 season, the 2026 car is already built up during this time.
Okay.
So when he was in Mercedes last year, this car was already built up. So no one knows what sort of preferences that he has and what type of setup that he has and all that, right?
So next year, the car has to be designed around the driver.
Yeah. So next year, it can be definitely different.
Interesting. I feel like maybe even in the racing industry, there is some privilege, right? People who are like, even in Sri Lanka, so even if a kid wants to become Formula, or like not Formula, let's say someone who wants to be a professional driver, like they don't have the ability to do that, right? Do you think those sort of constraints affect success as well? Or as a person, how do you navigate those sort of realities?
Listen, when it comes to motorsports even, or any sports, if you are talented, then the rest will come to you. If you can have the opportunity of performing. In other countries, there's a difference. They treat all these areas in the similar focus way. We only highlight one industry, which is cricket, and we just don't actually care about the rest that much. We don't focus on those things. And because of that, the industries are very limited. It's limited access, it's limited to a certain set of people or class, or that's it. And the majority of the general public, they don't even realize such thing is existing.
True.
In other countries, it's not like that. They already know the existence of the industry. They already know the pathways, the guideways, and what to do and what not to do. So that's what we need to change first here. You need to make aware of the existing industry here, and you need to make aware about the pathways, and we need to create opportunities so that they can have the taste of it. Then they'll figure it out on their own, what to do and how to do it.
Interesting. So I guess that's an interesting segue into one of your projects as well, right? Girls on Wheels. Could you talk a little bit about that? And
so Girls on Wheels is the first Sri Lankan female motorsport awareness program where we teach them about what motorsport is and how you're supposed to get into it. And if you don't want to be a racer, what sort of opportunities that you have and everything, right? And then we give them the theoretical part of motorsports, basically what is happening in Sri Lanka and then globally. And then we give them practical part where they get into karts and try out karting and, testing out and all that. So we teach them on starting from how to tie their hair to what to wear to the rules and regulations and everything. So we always do this with a racing partner. So we used to have the governing body as the racing partner to teach these things. And then now we have a club, which is Royal Automobile Club in Sri Lanka, which is registered already under the governing body and the government sport ministry also to do that. And we did the first inclusive motorsport awareness program also in Sri Lanka, which is called Speed on Wheels. So both genders, regardless their age categories, they get into it and they try it out as well.
This was at the track in Bandar?
No, actually this was done at Pitakote. There's a track called Pro Ride. It's an electric karting track. That is the only electric karting track in Sri Lanka, and it's very affordable for anybody. If we compare Speedway with the Pro Ride, it is very affordable, so anybody can try it out and test it out as well. So
interesting. So coming a little out of sort of the motorsports industry and maybe moving into education, because that's something that you also really keen and passionate about. Let's start with something a little maybe fun. Like let's say that in Sri Lanka, most students go through the subject education systems. So they study different subjects like science, maths, and all of that, and they sit to exams and they get their score. And basically, their future is sort of in a way determined by that. Would you say? Would you, if you were in charge, would you maybe introduce something like racing for kids?
Definitely. I would definitely do it. And that's what we are doing also. We are having a program coming on the 4th of October that is going to be the first STEM challenge combining motorsports in Sri Lanka. If I had the opportunity, I will definitely mix up racing into the educational curriculum. So people understand there are other varieties also. It's not, like I told you, it's not just about racing. It's also about, it's a massive industry. Even when it comes to engineering, there are trackside engineers, there are racing engineers. These are actually very different types of engineers. And then you have chemical engineers, autothermal engineers. Autothermal engineering is something that is taking place in aviations, but it is used in Formula One motorsports. So maybe
that could inspire the next Rob Marshall to come out of Sri Lanka. Right?
I mean, sometimes we might not realize the cure to cancer might be inside a head that can't actually afford education.
True.
Right. So it's our responsibility also to make it very accessible so anybody can get in and test it out and try out as well.
So to what extent would you say we should teach kids about Formula One racing? Like, should it be like a subject we learn at school, or should it be like once lifetime, like maybe something you do over summer? Like, how do you think it should be integrated?
I think it should be something that is getting connected over, maybe it can be for the smaller kids, it can be a summer break camp sort of a thing that they can go in, join in and learn. But it should definitely be in a curriculum in a very structured manner. So they learn about the motorsport sectors also. So everyone is very well aware, just like they are getting awareness about science and all that. I mean, even though we talk about science, I don't think anyone is actually teaching or we have any curriculums when it comes to the astrology or astronomy. Right? And I've heard so many people, so many kids saying, "Oh, I want to be an astronaut," and then they have no idea what to do in becoming astronauts.
Interesting. So let's say that you had unlimited resources and access. how would you design a learning experience? Maybe let's take like government schools, for example. What would kids actually do? Like, how would they engage with you, motorsports or
Yeah.
racing industry?
So I'll talk about GridX.
Sure.
Right? The project that I'm doing on the 4th of October.
Yeah.
So it's open for the kids.
Yeah.
Between 16 to 28. It can be even 15-year-olds. They have to have 3 to 6 members in their teams, and they have to create a small because it's like
Not the actual car.
not the actual
Yeah, okay.
drivable ones,
Yeah.
the small size of Formula One style car.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they have to use their own creativity on how to launch it and all that, even though we do give them the CO2 canisters, right?
Okay.
It's very fun. It's very effective, and they don't even realize they are using aerodynamics into it, the car designing stuff into it, the modeling and all that into it, and it's all about the mathematical sectors also,
Yeah.
right? And they are using Fusion 360 templates or CAD templates.
Okay.
They don't even realize those things because it's so fun to make the car, right? So automatically, when you're giving a fun project like that, it includes the STEM education in it, and it is motorsports, and it's combining both.
Yeah.
It's a two-world collide,
Yeah.
and we get our work done in building up the awareness.
Absolutely. I mean, if I was a kid, I would be like so interested in participating in something
Yeah.
like this, like because there's when we talk about sports or competitions in general, there's a huge bias towards physical sports
Yes.
like cricket, basketball,
Yes.
netball, swimming, and all of
Yeah.
these. But STEM sports, these sort of areas, I think should take more center stage as well because kids get to compete in different ways, and
Yeah.
there are some kids who like to compete using their mind,
Yeah.
using their skills.
Yeah.
And I think this is like a very good opportunity for kids to try those things out. Like, can you tell a little bit more about how we can apply? Like, if there's a team, like what should they do?
So do check it out, JW Networks pages on Instagram and on TikTok as well. And if not, just drop us a DM. Our numbers are there on our social media pages, and anybody who's following you guys, they can contact you also, and you guys can provide the information as well. And then we will be having 10 to 15 teams. So that's the maximum that we're going to have this time. But when it comes to the teams, so the slots are very limited this time. So try it out since it's going to be the first ever competition. Right? And they can apply with 3 to 6 members. Try to have at least one girl in the team, which can be really sometimes a struggle for most of the people, because that is one of the main questions that I've heard also. I got questioned with saying that we only have males. What are we supposed to do? This is a boys' school. What are we supposed to do? So at that time, can't help, right? So you have to go with it. So that's why you're saying, okay, it's not compulsory, but try to have at least one girl in the team, and then apply, because you're not going to start from scratch. You're starting with the template, so you know the dimensions of starting it and all that. And you can use any materials that are given in the technical guideline, because you get the technical guidelines also in how to make it, what to do and what not to do. And then they get 2 workshops. So they learn the basics, and then in the midway, they can learn something else also. But you need to apply before August ends, so that they have the whole September to finish up their car and race on the 4th of October.
Interesting. So this is sort of like a drag race, right?
Yes,
so
it is a drag race. Yes.
Basically trying to get to the end as the fastest.
Yes.
Okay. And where is it held?
So it's at Cinnamon Lakeside on the 4th of October.
Nice.
Saturday.
All right. Brilliant. So, and again, more descriptions about the competition we'll put under our video as well, so you can check that out. And we will also share information with you too. But again, feel free to reach out to these guys if you are interested in participating in this competition. So, coming out of it, like talking a little bit about competition, like Formula One is like notorious for competitions. Like you're basically racing each other to get to the finish line first, right? Do you think like how big of a role does competing with each other play in education system? Because for some kids it feels like it's a rat race kind of situation. You are kind of trying to compete with each other, outshine each other, push other people down.
Yeah.
How do you think competition promotes learning? How good do you think is how important is that in an education
Competition
system?
is important,
Yeah.
but there are limitations for it.
Yeah.
One thing is it should not be forced,
Yeah.
because some kids, they just do it because their parents are forcing to be there, right? So because of that, they don't have any interest and they're forced. So there are going to be mental issues, mental health issues for them, and they're going to act it out in different ways. They're turning into bullies and all that just to express themselves, and that is like because of the parental forces that they get, right?
Okay.
But competitiveness is a good thing. It's not a bad thing, because that pushes your boundaries, that pushes your limit, and you achieve certain levels where you didn't even realize that you had it in you. So it is important, but within the limitations, right? Everything has to be done with a balance.
Yeah.
So does competitiveness also. I mean, even in racing, I'll take Formula One itself. Everybody's racing each other and all that, but majority of the people hate Max Verstappen because of the way that he drives.
Okay.
Right? He's a brutal driver. He don't think twice to kick somebody off the track and all that. And there were collisions happening as well due to that and all that. And so because of that, some people do not approve that method. So competitiveness is good, but not up to that certain risk where a life might be at risk, right?
Yeah.
But for him also, his according to the stories and the researches that we heard and all that, his dad used to push him to be like that. And then sometimes when he didn't win certain races, he was abandoned at petrol sheds and all that, and his mom had to come and pick. So that plays a huge role in a kid's mind, right? You grew up with that. That this is what you get.
So final word. Do you think competition hinders learning or promotes learning? What do you think?
It promotes learning, because if you're doing it with a passion, then it definitely promotes learning. But if you're actually you're forced to do it, then it's like hell for you. And then you will go through a lot, because you're doing it just to satisfy somebody else's wishes.
Okay, understood. And you've been working in sort of the motorsports industry in Sri Lanka. Any interesting stories of students who came from unlikely backgrounds, or someone who, appeared out of nowhere and surprised you? Because you mentioned that Sri Lanka has so much talent, so much creativity, and so much potential. Any stories that you can share?
Yeah, so we had one of these Girls on Wheels events, I think last year during March, if I'm not wrong. Right? At that time, there was this girl who came as a first-timer, an amateur, tried out karting, and she has the second best timing for the whole track.
Wow. Oh, and all time?
All time.
Oh my God.
And she has never seen or touched a kart at all before that. And then at that time, we had the secretary from the governing body in Sri Lanka, SLAS. And then he came up to me and he was like, Jorgy, are you sure that she just never did? And I was like, that's why I'm so happy doing what I'm doing right now. Yeah. And this time we had a lady came from Madhavachia, a guy came from Hatton, and another girl came from Mathura. I mean, you put on these events, right? And then projects, and then you keep it in Colombo, because the sources are in Colombo, unfortunately, because I can take these projects. I am taking these projects outside Colombo, but unfortunately, I won't be able to give them the opportunity of trying out karting at the same time. Because this karting track is only available here in Colombo, right?
But GridX.
GridX can go around.
Anywhere.
Yes.
It can go anywhere.
So, and then you put these things, and then you see a person coming early morning from Hatton or Madhavachia just to get in part of it, a 1 hour, 2 hour awareness program, and then they go with a lot of hopes and dreams, and then you realize, bloody hell, there's so many opportunities and so many people who want to try it out.
Wow. Okay, that's very interesting. I think there's a lot for Sri Lanka's education system to gain from these sort of initiatives as well, and I think competitions like GridX should be part and parcel of a child's experience while going through
Yeah.
school. And that's why even New Labs, we want to work with you guys and promote this competition and take part on it as much as possible.
Yeah.
And we are really excited to see what's going to come with
I
that
think
as
the
well.
editor is going to be having a hard time because I said some words that he has to mute it.
Yeah, unfortunately, we had to keep it child friendly. So then, yeah, Supun's work is cut out for him.
Yeah. Sorry in advance.
So just to wrap things up, quick rapid fire round. So I'm
Okay.
going to ask a series of questions, just give short answers to them. Okay. So what is your favorite track overall to drive in around the world?
Jeddah.
Okay, why?
Because it's very hard.
Okay.
It's a very interesting, very hard track. Not everybody can actually drive it very successfully. But at the same time, I love Silverstone.
Awesome. Next question. Your favorite road to drive in Sri Lanka?
Dahatavangur,
Okay.
because it's also not easy, but the view is really interesting.
So that's you going from Ratnapura side to down
Yes.
south to southern Sri
Yes.
Lanka. Yeah, awesome. Which is harder, explaining aerodynamics to kids or replacing a tire in 3 seconds?
Explaining aerodynamics to kids.
Why is that?
I mean, have you seen Formula One? If you watch it, their tire changing is actually less than 2 seconds. Unless I'm going to be pit crew, then yeah, I'll take the aerodynamics thing to explain.
Okay, awesome. So in one word, how would you describe Formula One engineering?
Okay, Formula One engineering. It's like Barbitol having a castle inside with very luxurious stuff that you have no clue what is happening and existing at all.
Okay, awesome. Final question. If you could race anyone from history, who would it be?
Oh, Sir Sterling Moss.
Interesting. Would you like to talk about why?
Yeah, so Sir Sterling Moss is, he's no more there in the world, but he's one of the old and golden boys from UK, one of the famous people, and he should have been one of the Formula One racing champions, but he never did. But everyone considered him to be somebody like that because of the talent that he has shown, and it's a mechanical era rather than a technological era. So that talent is immense, and he's one of the most favorite drivers I like as well.
Interesting. One more question.
Yes.
Have you seen Top Gear?
Yeah.
Who's your favorite person from Top
Who
Gear?
do you think?
I don't know. Jeremy Clarkson?
Yes.
Okay.
I love that guy's sarcasm.
True. But I really wish it was still there. But I think he started Jeremy again started some new project, right?
Yes. He has a
Around
farming thing going on.
Yeah. I've been following that,
Yeah.
but
Listen, he's a hard ball
Yeah.
when it comes to Formula One,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to Lewis Hamilton, right? There's an issue because he's a mixed race guy, so there are racist issues also in the industry. But when it comes to him as a person who is a petrol head and also the guy with the comic senses and all that, love his wit.
Interesting. Who did they ever find out who the stick was?
I don't think so.
No, still unknown.
It's still unknown.
Interesting. All right, cool. So that's it in terms of today's
Finding
podcast
sticks.
episode.
That's it about finding sticks.
So I think there's a lot we can still keep talking about, maybe for another time. But of course, before we wrap things up, anything else you want to talk about?
Thank you so much for inviting me to have a chat about this, and also shout out to you guys for what you guys doing here, because this is something that we actually want to have here in Sri Lanka, which we are having.
Yeah.
And I think this also needs to be in the curriculum of normal day-to-day studies at schools.
Yeah.
So just wanted to thank you guys for doing what you guys doing. Right. And then thank you so much for having me here. And then if you guys want to apply, just please do go and apply. Then y'all they don't actually need to start from the scratch. They get help in building these small cars.
Yeah.
It's going to be very fun for them. A really good exposure global wise and local wise as well for them. So
Interesting. again, it was a pleasure having you here, and thank you so much. And looking forward to GridX, and hopefully, yeah, we'll have a very good experience organizing it, and hopefully something big will come out of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Good night.